Welcome to Broke-Ass to Badass, where heart-led entrepreneurs learn to build the businesses and lives of their dreams with confidence, ease, and joy. This is the anti-hustle movement, and we're your coaches in badassery, Kimi and Pua.
Find out more at bledigital.com, and wherever you're listening to this, be sure to click subscribe so you never miss an episode.
In this episode, we are sharing some of our favorite tips and tools and strategies for hacking your fall season, for really creating a beautiful fall without losing your shit. As we all know, this is a really full time of year.
For sure. We have an awesome free download that goes with this episode. And if you guys are listening and things sound a little different, they are, because we are recording this live on Facebook. So for you guys listening here, if you ever wanted to jump in and join us live on Facebook, follow us at BLE Digital, and you can jump into our tribe at bit.ly/BLE tribe. And as part of this live broadcast, we're sharing a free download, and you guys can access it if you're listening to the podcast by going to bledigital.com/badass.
Welcome. We are here with a fun training for all of you on how to rock your fall without losing your stuff. Without losing your beep. And, we love this subject. Here we are at the beginning of September. And historically speaking, this can be a full season, right? So we've coached on this before, because often when we work with clients, and it just from our own experience, depending on what you got going on in your life, and especially as entrepreneurs, and if you are parents or just, in general with the holidays coming up, fall is typically a really full season. And we can either just sort of survive the holidays and the last few months of the year, or we can really move into this with intention and some badass strategies to really help work smarter, not harder, so that we can really enjoy these last few months of the year. So that's what we're here to talk about today.
God. Guys, bear with us. So what we're doing now, if you're listening on the podcast and you're like, what is happening? These girls are not usually this hot mess action. We're streaming live to Facebook. So if you're listening to this podcast, you can actually join our tribe, bit.ly/BLE tribe, and watch us record these podcasts live now. And you get the content a couple of days before we actually release it on the podcast. So super cool. But what we are also doing, which I think is like super smart and fun and ambitious, and also is really crazy of us at the same time, is we're sharing it to our page and our group today, just to kind of see, and a little bit of insight about why we're doing that, because we love to share what we learn with all of you. Our Facebook ads specialist, Sherry Lee, and can I just say, like, if you want a Facebook ad specialist and only a Facebook ad specialist, don't hire her, because she is so much more than that. She is our Facebook ads amazing expert. She is a phenomenal business coach. She is so keyed in to everything that you need to really rock your ads on Facebook and rock your business on Facebook. So if that sounds good to you, reach out. We can share her information with you. But what she is helping us to do is hone in on our targeting. And she uses all these different things to help us target our ads to the people who are perfect fits for being a part of our tribe. So we're sharing on the page and in our group, and somehow hopefully going to try to manage questions and comments and interact with you guys as much as we can in all of these places, while still recording a podcast that has lots of content, lots of value, and it's great for also just being a podcast. So with that said, yes, what we're talking about today is how to rock your fall. And we used to do different things in our business. We used to coach corporations and employees. And we also had a very short kind of life coaching stint that didn't live very long for many reasons. But while we were doing that, we actually had a different podcast. And we dug up out of the archives this list of 25 ways to hook up yourself for the fall. And there's still, a lot of them are still really pertinent, and we changed a few. But we wanted to share some of these with you guys because the fall is busy for most people, whether or not you have your own business. And the reason why we want to do this now, it's September, we're getting into that kind of busy holiday season, and entrepreneurs are already busy by nature, right? We already have so much that we want to do and so many ways that we're serving and providing great experiences for our customers, our clients, our tribes. So put these two things together and it's a recipe for instant overwhelm if you don't have systems and processes in place to hook yourself up and really set yourself up for a relaxing, joyful holiday season that has all of that magic that it used to have when we were kids, right? So that's why we feel so passionate about sharing these with you today. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to really just start, as we do actually with all of our clients that come through our program. This is like, it's about slowing down in order to enjoy the ride, right? As things speed up over the next few months, which we all know they will, this is the little bit of a slowing down period that you can do right now to be able to kind of take that step back. I almost think of it like one of those beautiful paintings that if you're up too close, you can't even tell what the F it is. But when you step back, you're like, okay, you have that big picture of what's going on in your life and how you can make life easier, more joyous, have things flow, and not be just feeling like things are hitting you out of the blue. So this is the slowing down in order to speed up. So part of this, what we really encourage you to do is not just consume this content, which yes, great information is awesome, but most of us don't need more information. What we need is implementation. So whether you can bookmark this, make a note to yourself to come back to this training and actually take some notes and actually implement some of these tools and strategies that we're going to give you, that's how you're going to get the most bang for your buck out of this training. And we're actually going to give you some extra resources that you can get as part of this training. So listen for that coming soon. Okay, so our favorite place to start, and if you're familiar with our coaching style and with our programs, if you're in our tribe, you know that we are all about big visioning. And that would be really the perfect place to start as we head into the rest of this year. And that is to create a big vision for what you want to achieve, how you want to feel, and what you want to experience over the next few months. So your big vision for this last, quarter and a half of the year would really be taking inventory of, okay, how do you want to feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? If you are a business owner, what are the different things that you have going on for the rest of the year? For Pua and I, we really set the intention every year to create a lot of downtime for ourselves in December. So we always have a goal to take all of December off and to automate as much as we can so that when we move into December, things are just flowing in our business. They're automated. They're running on their own. That requires planning, right? It doesn't just happen. And so we will be spending September, October, November, really setting ourselves up for success so that when we move into December, it's like we've got it already taken care of. So this is the time right now to start planning for that. Of course, as an entrepreneur, if you're going to have Christmas specials, other things going on for the holidays, this is the time right now so that you're not scrambling as things get busier and more full. This is the time to begin planning now. So take some time, as this, whether it be this weekend or when you have a few hours over the next few days, and write down everything that you have. Take a really good deep dive into your calendar and review everything from that larger vantage point. And start first from what you want to feel. What kind of space do you want to create in your life as Pua and I are doing, and then work backwards from there. What will it take to take December off, right? And so, big vision. If you need any support with this, of course, message us. We love talking about this. We can direct you to some of the other podcasts that we've done on big visioning, but that is absolutely the place to begin.
For sure. Yeah. And I think to add on to this, by the way, I think we found another perk of sharing to the page. People are sharing this on their own pages, which you can't do from the group because the group is closed. So if you guys want to share this, feel free. Make sure you share from the page. And yeah, let us know if you have questions. But kind of piggybacking on creating a big vision, it's also okay, if you're in our program, if you've ever done any work with us at all, because over the years, no matter how our business has shifted and changed, we've taught weekly planning every step of the way. And so, weekly planning is a great thing to do every week for your whole life. But at this time of year, what could also be really useful is, again, taking that bigger vision and looking ahead at September, October, November, December, and starting to create a schedule. Look at the things that you tend to share consistently, right? So for us, that is a weekly podcast. It's social media, graphics, images, captions. For some of you, you might be bloggers and you might do weekly blogs, right? And although we teach batching content creation, sometimes that practice kind of falls by the wayside and we end up doing content creation as we go. So this would be a great time to really step back again, slow down, and schedule some big blocks of deep work time so that you can batch create your content and load it up, schedule it. This is another way to give yourself December to just enjoy, go on a vacation, staycation, spa day, whatever that is. Allow yourself to do that because you've worked really freaking hard and you deserve it. So if you're not doing this for yourself all year long, let yourself have some free time this year and at the end of the year after you've worked so hard. So yeah, take some time to really just take inventory and just start with the things that you're always doing regularly. Don't look yet at the things that you want to kind of do as a one-off, like a program launch or a program close or anything like that. Just start with the things that you need to consistently put out there. And then once you have a good solid list, find ways to automate this. Find ways to schedule them out. Facebook has this built into its platform. You can schedule posts on a page. There are Instagram scheduling platforms that we can share with you. There's ways to do this so that it happens on its own. The one thing that you might want to kind of build into your schedule, if this is something that's a part of your practice, is going in and responding to people even though you're taking time off, right? And if that's an important part of your business, if that community nurturing is something that you do, maybe, say I'm going to go off on my staycation, but give myself an hour every other day to go in and just make sure that people are being responded to.
Awesome. So I was trying to unmute myself fast enough. Okay. So the other thing about this season, and this is, what typically happens is we're adding more, just life in general is adding more to our plates during this time of the year. So we have more events, right? Everybody is having their holiday gatherings. We have more family events, perhaps. We have, as we get closer to the holidays, we have holiday shopping, we have Christmas, we have all of these things happening. So we're adding more onto our plates. If you are a parent, we all know, right? This is the time of year of open houses, of just a lot more happening on the school front for our kids. So this is a really great time to recognize that we tend to feel overwhelmed because it's like we have our baseline of what we're doing already, and then we're adding all of this other stuff onto it. So what the next couple months can really look and feel like for you is taking a really good look at what you can offload before we begin bringing things in. So this is like the KonMari method, or like the decluttering method of your calendar, right? Before you add more on top, let's see what you can get rid of. And that begins with the beautiful, mastering the beautiful art of saying no. Right? And being willing to really look at your life and look at all the things that you have been saying yes to up to this point, and just being really honest with yourself and asking, okay, does this still light me up? Is this something that is, and if it's a business thing, what is the return on investment of my time of this? And is this something that I want to bring into the rest of the year with me? And keep in mind that you can always be creative in the way that you offload things, right? So let's say, for example, you're helping somebody with something. It's something you always do, but maybe you'd like to take a little bit of a break from it over the next few months. So have that script ready. And remember, it doesn't have to be forever. You could simply say, I love this. It's something that means a lot to me, but knowing that I'm going into a busier season of my life, let's revisit this in January, right? So sometimes we just need the language to be able to, again, this is an art of saying no, and finding creative ways and recognizing that everything that you're doing or not doing is serving a purpose. Our friend Alice Noy shares that all the time. And so recognize that by saying no, you're giving somebody else an opportunity to say yes to something, right? So take a really good, clear look at your calendar, at your to-do list, at the things that you're doing, perhaps because you've simply always done them, and see what you might be able to get off your calendar, lighten up your load a little bit so that when you do add more, you're not feeling that heavy sense of overwhelm.
Can we tell you guys a secret?
I'm like,
what? Tell us. We've disguised this as tips for the fall. These are tips for life, baby. They apply 365 days a year. And this one especially, like when we say no to something, it's so liberating and so hard to do, especially if you have kind of, and like, this is me. I am so controlling. Like, I just want to have my hands in all the things. And we can move on in like 2 minutes, but I just want to share, like, this is one of those life-changing habits that when you can start to get really comfortable with saying no, or with having someone else take something on so that you can do things that light you up, it is life-changing. Like, there's no other way to say it. And it's something that you just have to build a muscle around. Get comfortable with this and know that, like, so we used to coach people in corporate all the time saying like, well, I do this and I've always done this and I'm the best at it. And it's going to take me so long to train someone else to do it. I just don't want to bother because I don't have the time. Yes, of course, you're going to have to show somebody how to do something. But think about it. They are probably going to see it from fresh eyes and maybe see an easier, better, more efficient way to do it. They might be better at it than you are, right? And you don't get to know this unless you give them the opportunity to dig in and do it for themselves. And yes, people are going to not be great at things the first time they try, typically, right? So also give people that cushion to figure it out instead of being like, nope, you suck, it's wrong, moving on, right? So it's a little tip right there. Okay, so let's dive back into this. And are we doing the magic word yet?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, yeah. And we'll send it after. But okay, a new thing that we're doing also, if you guys are watching live on Facebook, we have a download for you, a free download of all of our 25 hacks. And we will private message you if you drop the word badass into the chat. It's a hashtag. It can be a hashtag, right? Let's make it a hashtag. Hashtag badass into the chat. And we'll send it to you in a private message after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a huge list of our favorite hacks for the fall. So you guys will love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, now that we're on the kind of delegating and outsourcing subject, let's talk about different ways that you can do this. And a big misconception is if you are a solopreneur, or maybe you're not an entrepreneur at all, or you just don't feel like you have the money to invest in hiring an assistant or something like that, we think that we don't have anyone to outsource to, and it's just out of the question. It's out of the budget. Not true. We live in this super cool time where there are collectives of freelancers and virtual assistants out there that are so affordable that can help, even if it takes off half an hour of something that you do every day. that adds up really quickly. And one of the most affordable things that we've tried and we've used for years is a service called Fancy Hands. Basically what this is a collective, both. It is both. They are people who are I think they're all in the US, and they just do little tasks. So anything from setting up, a Google Doc, a Google folder, research, they can do restaurant reservations. I've had people get on the phone and cancel subscriptions for me that I don't want to stay on hold for forever. They do all sorts of things. Now, the thing to remember about Fancy Hands and anyone that you're going to outsource to is you really need to be very, very, very specific about not just what you want them to do, but how you want them to do it and what you want to receive, right? So instead of saying, hey, could you help me research a few articles on Facebook ads? You'll probably get 2 articles and they'll be the first 2 things that come up in a Google search. And you'll be like, I could have done that myself, right? So you want to say things like, could you please send me 10 articles on Facebook ads, none of which are from the first page of a Google search, and could you include a summary of each one? Boom. Saves you tons and tons of time, right? So being specific is just a good outsourcing rule in general, but especially when you're using something like Fancy Hands.
Totally. And we're big fans. We dig a lot deeper, of course, into all of our programs of different ways that you can outsource. We love, leveraging. We have a wonderful virtual assistant that we work with. We work with a company that does some tech support for us in a subscription format. That's Work Hero. So yeah, we're big fans of outsourcing because the less you do, actually, the more time that you have, the less of this stuff that you do that doesn't light you up or whatever it is that you can offload, it gives you more time to create, to be in your unique brilliance and to do the things that really bring you joy and bring the most, help you to leverage your unique brilliance so that you can get really great results in your business and in your life. So, And this is the next thing that we wanted to dig into here. And this is, again, as Pua said, the big secret is that this is not about fall. This is about always. But it's our willingness to be able to look at what's not working is actually where our biggest learning opportunity is for ourselves. And as humans, we're so resilient, right? We're just we get through things and then we just move on. And without a period of reflection time where you're willing to say gosh, this doesn't feel good and this doesn't have to repeat. If I take a little bit of inspired action to shift something, that is actually what will really help you to transform your life and your business. And it's that willingness to look at what's sticky, what's heavy. And so as part of this, and this is kind of going back to that big visioning, but look back at last year, this time, and if you have been good about kind of keeping things in your calendar, and this is why Pua and I are big fans of tracking all the things, go back to September, October, November, December of last year, and even January to look and see what happened during that period of time and evaluate, oh my goodness, I totally forgot. Try to put yourself back in that place of what was stressful, what was hard, what you forgot that you had that then felt like it came out of the blue. And by going back and inventorying that, then ask yourself one of our favorite questions ever, and that is, how can I make my life easier? Right? How can I make my life easier? So looking back at the challenges or the learning opportunities or the sticky stuff or the heavy stuff that you experienced. And again, you could do this on a micro level, week to week, you could do this, or as part of this, hooking up yourself for a really great fall, look back and say, okay, this was hard last year. How can I make it easier? And one of my favorite strategies for keeping track of this is every holiday season, after the holiday season, I type myself an email and I write out everything that went well and everything that was hard about the holiday season. And then I have that email boomerang back to me in the fall so that I can prepare for, because we forget, right? We forget like what was hard and we just kind of blaze through it. We're like survivors. And so we just keep on trekking forward. And what this does is I have this beautiful reminder that pops into my inbox and says like, hey, I know you got like pumpkin spice on the brain and you feel like it's all like super fun right now, but remember that last year you forgot to do this and you didn't do this and this was a little bit sticky and this was hard because you didn't plan, and this is what your intention was to make it better this year. So just a little bit of a hack, and this is almost like extra hack where you can think about in your business or your life what's working for you right now and what you'd like to improve next year, and send yourself an email so that it pops in next year, so that and keep doing that. Have that be a practice that you do on a regular basis. And bonus tip, this is actually something that works really well if you, in your business, hold events, or launches or anything big like that. So taking that little bit of time after an event, like we just had one of our clients do Made in Hawaii, right? So after an event like that, like a big expo, sit down, take a few minutes and do a little event recap. What worked, what didn't, and then send yourself an email and have it pop up before your event next year. And you'll just be like, oh my God, I am so brilliant. I totally hooked up my future self. And try that out and let us know how it goes. I think it's like one of my most favorite fun ways to plan ahead.
And do it right away. Mm-hmm. Write this email like the night after an event if you can. I used to do events with this company, and they would end really late and I go to bed so early. Like it was just so hard for me to know that I had to stay after everything was cleaned up and do this event recap. But I have to say, like you put things out of your mind even the next day. And they were often really important details that saved us tons of time for the next event. So great tip. And it definitely works. So let's really take a look at why we're sharing these with you. Like, why does this even matter? You're like, well, I got this one day at a time. I'll survive. I'll just keep doing things the way that I'm doing them. The reason why this is so important to us and why we feel like it's our responsibility to share this with you is the season is the excuse for us sharing this, but this is like year round. It's time to prioritize the people in your life over everything else, over your work, over everything that has to get done, right? It's the people, it's our relationships that we need to prioritize and that we forget about when we start to feel overwhelmed and busy. So really, like if you think about ways that you can use this season or use whatever you have at your disposal to not just like in your mind say like, I'm setting an intention to be there for people, like actually use this to create the time to do it. Be present, right? Surprise and delight people. Like there are so many ways to love up the people in our lives. And this season is a great way to bring these practices back in if they've kind of started to slip. And I go through that myself. Like I'm always like, oh, I'll see them tomorrow. I'll see them next week. And we aren't always promised that. So every day it's really fun and really important to remember the people in your life and put practices in place to be able to share your love and your light with them.
Yay, I love that so much.
Yeah, you go for it. I totally lost my place.
I love that because you're right. That is so exactly why we're sharing all of this. And it's really our philosophy and our business culture that it's our mission to help people to create businesses that really serve their soul and create lives that excite them, and that we're not like delaying our relationships, our health, or any of that until for a later time, right? So as an entrepreneur, because we're doing what we love and because there is so much that can come with that, and it's a road that is it's always expanding. Things are always changing. And we can so easily get sucked into the, like, I'm just going to sit at my desk until I get hit all these goals and we back burner our relationships, we back burner our health, and we have this thing in our head saying like, okay, once I get here, then I will enjoy my life. And we see that so much. That's really that hustle mentality that we see out there, especially in the online space. And for us, our mission is helping people to create businesses and lives that they can enjoy as they're building them, and weaving in your health, because what good is a beautiful business that you grow if you hit all of your financial and business goals, but your relationships are broken, your health is suffering. It's like you can't even enjoy the wins and the celebrations. So when we're working with clients, we always start from that beautiful big vision first of what your best life ever looks like for you, and figure out how you can grow your business and enjoy your quality of life at the same time. And so that's really important to us. And that's why we love to encourage regular big visioning, regular weekly planning, so that we're continuing to bring ourselves back in alignment with what's our relationships, our health, our quality of life, what brings us joy, because that is the point. And we have all heard that saying that we are never promised a tomorrow. And so how can you, if you're listening to this, you're listening to it for a reason. And how can you remember that every single day is an opportunity for you to live your best life, for you to begin to bring in those qualities of health and love and abundance into your life right now, into today. And so, yeah, we're talking about how to rock your fall, but really we're talking about how to rock your life in the big picture.
For sure. Yeah. And it's that same phenomenon, right? Like you have to put your oxygen mask on before assisting others, right? Because if you're gasping for air, how are you going to reach and support somebody and be your best self for them, right? And it's just so easy to forget about ourselves. It really is. And it's so crucial, because when we're running on our reserves, it's temporary energy, and we just eventually we shut down, or like someone shuts us down for us. And by someone, I mean, our physical body, we get sick. The universe has ways of telling us that we need to slow down, that we need to reprioritize our own health and wellness. And, I always think about, actually my mom. And when I was a kid, like she did a lot for us. She was always like, there are many moms here, and I think this is not a new story, right? You're always waking up first, you're going to bed late. You are the household, like you hold things together. And when you aren't able to hold yourself together because you're holding together everything else, right, you get like short-tempered. I would find my mom like crying, and I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I'm just so tired, right? And now we have resources, and we have communities that are there to help provide hacks and tips to make sure that those things don't happen, because there is a way. And again, it takes slowing down to speed up. It takes planning. And when we are creating our schedules in our lives, both our business and our personal life, because they are integrated, when we can design them in a way that fits everything that we desire, rather than living by default, everything else feels easier. I promise you. And it does take time. It takes time to get time. Like, what is it? A stitch in time saves 9. Yeah. And it's true. Like it feels like you don't have time to do the planning, but make the time because it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So in our fun download for you, our 25 hacks to rock your fall, we go a little bit deeper into some ideas and things that you can do to up your physical self, your mental self, emotional, spiritual, all of that. Again, if you want to grab that download, just have it as a reference, and you could use it as sort of a place to do like a journaling prompts almost as you do your big visioning. Then drop the word badass or hashtag badass in the comments, and we'll be sure to message that to you. It's funny because as we were looking and preparing for this episode, I was like, oh my God, I got to do this. There's so much of it that it's just such a great reminder. And I think it's funny, right? It's like Pua and I eat, sleep, and breathe, working smarter, not harder, planning, weekly planning, big visioning, just creating the business and life of your dreams. And yet even for us, I look at our own materials and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, this is a really great reminder for us too, to slow down and to really get that big picture, because especially in this day and age, we're moving so fast in the online space as we're building our business as entrepreneurs. Things are moving really, really fast. And it's easy to just get caught up in the weeds, right? Where it's like we're so on the front lines all the time that it feels counterintuitive to take time off to strategize and to really look at what's working and what's not. So if you want more on this too, we did a really fun training in our tribe on Facebook, and you can get there bit.ly/BLE tribe on setting yourself up for an awesome September. So this was a training that we did with our the joy generator and lifestyle brand photographer Geraldine Camarillo, and it was just so high vibe and high energy. And we talked in that training a lot about envisioning what the $1 million version of yourself looks like, right? So when you have hit all the goals, you're living that dream life of yours, what does your day look and feel like? What are the practices that you have in place? What are the daily habits that you have in place? And what is stopping you from bringing that energy in and those habits and those rituals and practices into your life right now? Because there is always a way that you can begin bringing that $1 million energy into your life right now, no matter where you are. And watch the ripple effect that has in every area of your business and your life. It's really powerful. It's you're going to be showing up in your business, in your relationships, in every single thing that you do in a really, really different way, in a way that is magnetic, in a way that is powerful, and in a way that will really just amplify your energy out into the world. So definitely go check that out if you missed it. I actually rewatched it just because I was on such a high after like hanging out with Jer that I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my go-to to get a pump up anytime I need it. So as part of this hooking yourself up for the fall and rocking your fall, definitely check out our September Big Vision training.
For sure. Oh, sorry. When I was on mute, I had a fan on and I've been trying to remember to turn it off. Inside scoops. Yes. Awesome. Wait, I feel like we could just keep doing this forever, but just tell me when to stop. Stop.
No, let's never stop.
Let's never stop.
Well, actually, we learned from Chris Burns, right, that you can only go live for 4 hours at a time. So don't worry, this isn't going to be a 4-hour marathon.
Everyone's like, bye.
Bye, I'm out. I think this is perfect. And again, if you want to get hooked into our tribe, bit.ly/BLE tribe. If you want to follow us on Instagram, where we love to play a lot, we are at Brokeass to Badass on Instagram. And if you want our 25 hacks to rock your fall, drop badass in the comments below if you're watching this on Facebook, and we'll be sure to get that to you. And yeah, we would love to hear your hacks for fall too. So definitely feel free to drop those in the comments and share them with everybody. We'd love to continue this conversation in the tribe. So in our tribe on Facebook, come into our Facebook group, especially if you are an entrepreneur looking to surround yourself with other like-minded, like-hearted, soulpreneurs that are really following their soul's calling and really creating the business and life of their dreams, saying hell yeah to that thing that is equally scary and exciting, then come and be in that energy. Because as we've shared in many interviews, Pua and I have had each other on this journey, and we would not be where we are without each other. And so we want to be the Kimi and Pua for other people. And this community, this tribe is truly a great network. Uh-oh, real life dog barking. Take it away, Pua.
That's good. I think Scully wrapped it up. But yeah, thanks for being on live, guys. If you're listening to this on the podcast, again, we are streaming these live on Facebook now until we decide that we're going to do something else, because that's how we roll. So if you guys are interested in checking these out live in a couple of days early, follow us on Facebook. BLE Digital is our page, and jump into the tribe. That's really where all the conversations happen. bit.ly/BLE tribe. Introduce yourself, and we cannot wait to meet you guys and continue this conversation there.
Awesome. Have a great fall. We'll talk to you before then.
Bye. See you next year. Just kidding.
Love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of our podcast. As always, we can continue the conversation in our free Facebook group, bit.ly/BLE tribe. Let us know what you thought, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, BLE Digital, and on Instagram @Brokeass to Badass.